This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. You're tuning into the TCSF podcast with Big Z. We got Ivan from the Tape Never Lies and JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. And we're coming straight to you from the 606 Media Studios, powered by True Chicago Sports Fans. This is episode 268. Bears win ugly in Vegas. And we're fired up to dive into everything that makes Chicago great, which is our Chicago sports teams. Remember, 606 Media is your ultimate source for all things Chicago. Don't forget to swing by 606media.com to snag your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Check out our exclusive For the Love of Sports merchandise line. Show off your Chicago pride. If you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, or listening on your favorite podcast app, remember to hit the subscribe button. Again, if you're watching, we got the QR code there, and go ahead and take a picture of that. It'll send you straight to the YouTube page, and then go ahead and subscribe and share. Looking for more ways to get involved, support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans. For as little as 99 cents, you keep the conversation going. And while you're at 606 Media, you can check out the rest of the shows in Podskated with myself. We dive into deep, fascinating live stories, engaging discussions, and insightful interviews with plenty of humor. And then we also have the No Water on the Weekend with Steven and Sean, who were just live right before we came on. So go ahead and check them out. So let's strap it in and get ready for an unforgettable ride through the best of Chicago sports, culture, and beyond. So let's get started. Chicago Bears winning an ugly win in Las Vegas. I think they're the only ones that beat the house in Las Vegas this weekend, because it was half of Chicago was over there. But we got to go to Output on 1758 West Grand. Myself, Ivan, and Steven Edwards. We were live there and had a great time, had some great wings. Lots of
where's the picture? We have a picture. Where's the picture?
I will put the picture up right now. Give me 1 second. And it's on the photos. And where are we? Here we go. That's it right there. And we're gonna open that bad boy up. Let that it all load up. And we can see, he dwarfs us. He literally dwarfs us. Come on, load up. There it is again. And there it is. Yeah. I mean, we're shoulder height. We didn't look too bad. But yeah, it was a great time there. Steven, Steven.
Well, it's hilarious that they have the All-State good hands moment, because Steve is literally like, we're in good hands with Steve Edwards. Like,
oh my God, I never felt so safe with another man.
I'm kind of sad I haven't gotten to meet Steve, because doing a little dive for Steve on his Instagram or whatever, I found out he's a big bourbon guy.
Oh,
yes.
So the biggest.
So me and him would have got along very well.
He might be there on Monday. He said he's trying to work some things out to be there on Monday for the Berwyn. So you'll get to meet him.
The Berwyn with the bourbon. Berwyn with bourbon.
Well, I don't know that they would allow me to bring bourbon, but
No, I mean they have it there, obviously. They get stopped.
Yeah, but they don't have. They probably don't have what I have.
No, they probably.
Or what Steve has.
I stand corrected. You're right.
You might be able to bring a flask.
So
let's bring multiple flasks with different shit. How about that? We'll have our own taste test. We'll have our own taste test in the parking lot.
There we go. I already took the day off, so on Tuesday. I already know how it's gonna go. We're gonna be there. It's about 11 midnight, and then the drive back home. It's gonna be a
no dodgeball on Tuesday for Jose. That's what it is.
I will not be. No, I will not be at work on Tuesday. And I think that Monday is Indigenous Columbus Day, whatever you want to call it.
Indigenous Columbus Day. That should be the fucking name. I'm sorry, I'm pumped right now because the Bears beat the shit out of it. Like I said, I'm happy as shit. But like that should be a name. Everything is going roses for me today. I am going to write a letter to my state's congressman and say I want Indigenous Columbus Day. It makes everybody's happy.
Hey, you pick your side, everyone's happy, and you just move on.
There you go.
There you go. It was a mixed bag of emotions as we were watching the game. Bears win 25-24. Definitely crazy, dramatic finish. DeAndre Swift scored a go-ahead touchdown with 134 left. And Josh Blackwell shoots out and blocks Daniel Carlson's 54-yard field goal with 33 seconds remaining. And the Bears improved to 2-2. We were on a roller coaster because I said Caleb would have to win this game outright, put his cape on, and take us down for a winning drive. And he just did just that. And the defense showed up when it had to. Someone's getting notifications, not me.
Yeah, no, I was trying to figure out if it was me or not. Like it just
It's not me. Caleb and Rome Odunze continue to break out. There's a great connection between both of them. Williams threw for 212 and a touchdown to Odunze, who had 4 catches and 69 yards. Odunze is now the only receiver in the NFL to score in each of his first 4 games. Boys.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to go and take. Yeah, actually, you go ahead, JC. Everybody's heard me. I'm talking fucking.
No, I mean, I talked about it before the while we were in the preseason, because I attended 2 of the preseason, practices. Rome looked fantastic in the preseason and in the, in all the practices that I attended. Rome, like I said, Rome was a guy, and then Zacchaeus was another guy. But I mean, Zacchaeus really hasn't shown up in a game yet, like he did in some of the practices that we watched. Now, again, that also is because, in some of the practice, like reps and stuff, he's a featured guy where, DJ's, 3 guys back waiting for his turn, et cetera. So they're not just running the starters. So it's been a little surprising because, like I said, from what I saw in some of the training camp stuff, like Zacchaeus was just getting open nonstop in some of the practice stuff, even against the Bills and everybody else. So I'm a little surprised, but I mean, it looks like, he's getting a little more reps here. I think he had like 4 catches or 5 catches this week.
Yep.
And that's kind of what I expected. I kind of expected him to be that like underneath kind of relief valve, for like 3rd downs and stuff like that. Just keep the ball moving. But when we're talking about Rome, I think Rome is that guy, right? Like we keep saying that. And then, the thing to me is that this offense is so loaded with talent, but it's like, how are we barely beating a team by a blocked field goal with all the talent that we have? We spent all this money on the offensive line. We have Luther Burden, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Komet, Loveland. Like you just go down the list of like the offensive weapons that we have. And it's like, there's something still slightly off that like we're not quite putting it together. And again, new offense, new head coach, things like that. But one more thing I will say, 38 yards by your starting running back is not good enough. Period. End of story. 69 yards total between Swift, Monangai, and Caleb Williams is not good enough. All right. Las Vegas had 240 rushing yards against us. We had 69 total. I mean, it's pretty embarrassing that we spent the money that we spent on an offensive line and we cannot run the ball.
I find it very, very difficult to disagree with anything that you say, because it's been rough sleddings for the past month, and I don't see. And I'll give credit to DeAndre Swift for trying to be the bell cow that he's not. He's definitely a change of pace back. He'd be a great compliment. I'd like him as a compliment, but we don't have a guy. We don't have a guy that can, with his legs, take on the burden and be a 3-down back, stay in there for an entire series, and really, decimate and give body blows to the interior of that defense. We don't have that guy. That guy is not here on this roster.
We could have had that guy.
We could have had that guy.
Brian
times.
Robinson was available. Nick Chubb was available.
Yeah, I agree. And
Tank Bigsby got traded to the Eagles, was available.
Yeah, and seeing it now because I thought Monangai was going to get used. I was frustrated with Monangai. I'll go back to my point, but Monangai, for instance, I was frustrated, and Jose knows in the beginning because Monangai looked like he was tiptoeing. He looked like he didn't want to run. And then all of a sudden, when they gave it to him in the second half, bam, he's like hitting the hole. I'm like, who the fuck is that? Like he didn't look scared. He didn't look timid. He was just playing with reckless abandon. And that's what I think is missing. Somebody who's going to play like a fucking maniac when they get the ball in their hands in the running game. Like I said, you got to give Swift his credit. He's trying to do his best. He got a touchdown, well deserved. He ran hard. He did as much as he could. He needs to catch a pass out of the backfield, but he did as much as he can. There needs to be another guy, and if Monangai isn't ready or whatever, I don't know what else to say. We're gonna have to bear with it and hope that it becomes more fluid later in the season, where they're finding big holes in the running game, where they're gaining chunk yardage on the ground. It's difficult for me to say it's going to happen next week or in 2 weeks against the Commanders, or it's going to happen the week after that. I don't know. It looks bleak right now.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'll go back to say is, we've watched some of the film on Swift over the years, and I don't know if it's his eyes. I don't know if it's his instincts. I don't know what it is, but we consistently see like there's open field to the right, and he'll cut it back and run right into a defender. And it's like, I don't understand, like, is your vision that poor that you can't see open field or like an open hole? Like, and I understand, like, there's plenty of times where, hey, he's trying to follow, like, the game plan is he's supposed to run it through the B gap, and the B gap is shut off, and things happen, right? But there are plenty of players that can see like, oh, my B gap got shut off, and they cut it back into the A gap, which is open, you know what I mean? Because they overplayed to the B gap. So it's one of those where, like, sometimes with Swift's running, it's like, I don't understand what he's seeing. And I know there was like a tweet like a week or two ago where, somebody questioned it, and DeAndre Swift kind of said, well, that's not what I'm being taught, or that's not what I'm being, how I'm being asked to run. And it's like, so you're being asked to run straight into a defender when there's open field? I doubt that Ben Johnson is coaching you in, hey, dude, here's open field. You can get another 20 yards. Nah, man, like cut left and run right into the defender.
Well, I think his vision gets clouded with bodies. That's the issue. I think his vision gets clouded with bodies. He's like, all right, is that the hole? And then if he second guesses, he's gonna go ahead and stutter, and then try to readjust. But by that time, it's too late. Like, and like I said, is he the guy that to run between the tackles that every play and get big yardage? No, he's not that guy. He's a space guy. He needs to see the space. He'll make if he's in space, I can guarantee you he could probably make the first guy miss more times than not. But running through the tackles, running power, stuff like that, it's not his game. It's not his game. He doesn't have that type of, I would say he doesn't have that type of vision. His vision in between the tackles is porous.
Well, but Swift is also he's not going to lower the shoulder and run somebody over either. He is a finesse back.
No, he's a finesse guy.
He's a home run hitter, but when it comes to the tough yardage, it's not him. That's not what he is. And,
I didn't do it in Detroit. And when he left, the Detroit lines got better. He couldn't do it in Philadelphia with that great offensive line. And when he left to go to Detroit, guess what happened? Philly won. Like, we're just waiting for him to leave so we can win. I like where this is going. So, because next year he won't be here. He might not even make it the rest of the season if they can make a trade there's going to be a couple teams that are going to end up in 0-4, and you can start picking off some players. The Jets are playing.
Yeah, but realistically, who are you trading for? I mean, that's the next question. Is as it is, how many teams are injury? Like, there's running back injuries all over the place right now. Washington is off. Austin Eckler, he's done for the season. Like, there's multiple running backs that are already done for the season by week 4. So, we could probably trade for somebody. Do I think it's really going to be worth it? Do I really trust Ryan Poles to, like I said, we could have had Brian Robinson for a 6th round pick. Brian Robinson went to San Francisco, has not touched the ball a single time because Christian McCaffrey's there. So it's one of those where it's like, you knew Roshan was injured. You've known for years that Roshan has a history of being injury prone. You could have spent a 6th round pick to get Brian Robinson, who, was an 800 to 900 yard rusher last year, even after being injury somewhat himself, and to me, like, Brian Robinson is one of those guys where he can get the tough 4 yards, 5 yards.
Yeah, can't agree with you more. I mean, it's just, we literally talked about it in the post game. It's like, we don't trust Ryan Poles to make the right decision, and unfortunately, we're stuck with him for another 4 or 5 years, whatever it is. It's really bad.
Israel, Darius Smith is still out there, I believe, in free agency. He has not been picked up by anybody, as far as I am aware. But yeah, I mean, not that. Look, to me, from what I've seen of the Bears defense recently, the biggest problem we have right now on defense is Noah Sewell. All right, that guy, he is a tough tackler on 1st and 2nd down. He cannot cover worth a damn. He is a liability in coverage.
Well, they were pretty much handicapped with 2nd and 3rd stringers playing in the secondary, so he wasn't getting a lot of help. It is what it is. Again, I know it's the next man mentality, but
yeah, Nashawn Wright has been pretty darn good for us. I'm not going to complain for what he's been doing. Tyreek Stevenson, I don't know if he had a coming to Jesus moment after week 2, but he's been playing better week 3 and week 4. So like I said, maybe they had to sit down with him and a come to Jesus moment. But he's been playing better the past 2 weeks. Kevin Byard, he's a stud. I like the guy. He's a class act veteran, but when you watch like some of these games where it's backs out of the backfield and Noah Sewell cannot keep up with these guys, and he gets blown out of the water, and he's just a liability. I'm sorry, if nobody agrees with me, hey, I don't care. It's what I see. He is a good downhill tackler, but when you put him in coverage, he is 100% a liability. When he came out in college, he did not have the fastest 40. I'll see if I can look it up here. But it was one of those, like, there's a reason why he was like a 5th or 6th round pick when we took him. So I'll let you guys talk while I look up his 40 time.
Well, you're fine. There's just a lot of holes that they became very apparent on the Chicago Bears, whether it's the offensive line, the turnstile that was this Raider game, just destroyed by one player on defense, just literally destroyed the entire offense in the first half. They made some adjustments in the second half with wide receivers chipping, with Cole Kmet chipping. They did make some adjustments, and you saw that. And I was even asking Steve, I'm like, are they not blitzing, or why are they not getting to our quarterback anymore? And we've seen a lot of that chipping to help out Caleb. So that's why you didn't see any running, because there was no holes for him to go anywhere. So again, in my opinion, they should go out and look for a running back. You got Baltimore, who obviously is not going to give up. They're 1-3. Cleveland is 1-3. Houston's 1-3. Tennessee's 0-4. Denver's 1-2. Las Vegas 1-3. The Cowboys and Giants 1-2, 1-3. You've got the Panthers and the Saints 1-3, 0-4. Those are teams you could take advantage of and try to pick off something off their roster for a 4, 5, or 6 round pick.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of. I'd have to look at. Let's go back. Let me see if I can find a running back that would be of interest for us from a team here. You guys can keep talking. I'm gonna go look at some rosters.
I don't know who on the Saints or the Panthers you would try to get to pick off. Obviously the Cowboys. I don't think they're gonna give up on their running back right now. There's a lot. Miami, their second running back just went down, so they're not gonna. I mean, no, sorry, that was the Jets. Their second running back just went down earlier today in the game.
Okay. The Browns would be interesting because the Browns took Sampson and Judkins. So like if you could get one of those guys off of them, that would be a little interesting, I think.
But is that another project? Is that another project? Because what has Judkins done this season? Let's see.
Oh no, Judkins he balled out this week, but you're not going to get Judkins off of them.
Okay.
But like the Browns have Jerome Ford, they have Dylan Sampson, who was a rather highly, I think he was a 3rd or 4th round pick by the Browns. Dylan Sampson was
4th round pick. Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars, they really don't have anybody to spare because they traded away Tank Bigsby. And that's the thing is the rich teams get richer. You got Saquon Barkley, and then they traded for Tank Bigsby behind him. 49ers have Christian McCaffrey. They traded for Brian Robinson behind him. So it's one of those, like, the rich teams are rich, but like the poor teams, like, like I don't know, like they're
the poorly run teams is what you were trying to say, because we're one of those poorly run teams.
Yeah, I like Zamir White off of the Raiders, who are 1-3. Maybe Zamir White, but he's not that good a running back either. He's about the equivalent of a Roshan Johnson anyway.
What's the other running back that they had? The guy that's a journeyman. We were talking about. He had a big run. Oh my God,
Raheem
Mostert. Go get Raheem Mostert.
Raheem Mostert.
I would trade for Raheem Mostert. He still runs with an edge. Like he still has.
And Raheem Mostert's from that 49ers style offense, which should be somewhat good with the Ben Johnson style offense. But like I said, I'm looking at the Steelers. Like, Steelers don't have any good backup running backs. Dolphins, they had was it Wright? But if he was the guy that got hurt, then that's no good.
No, it was on the Jets. It was on the Jets.
Oh, the Jets. Oh, I'm sorry.
The Jets backup running back.
Patriots. All right, Patriots would be the perfect one, right? You have they drafted the rookie. Was it Henderson?
Trayvon Henderson. Yep, Trayvon Henderson.
I think they drafted Henderson, but you got Ramondre Stevenson there, he has a little bit of a fumbling history, but Ramondre is one of those guys that I think he's 23 years old, 5'10". Hold on. I just lost where I was.
Stevenson's 5'10", 202 from Ohio State, 2nd round pick in the 2025 draft.
Yeah, and again, Ramondre Stevenson has never been a fantastic player, but it's one of those where, because Henderson's there, like, they're going to want to give that guy more touches, sooner or later on the Patriots. And Ramondre is going to be, as far as I know, I think he's up for a contract in the offseason. So again, it's one of those where you might be able to trade a 6th or 5th round pick for him and bring him in and have him be the knuckles to Swift's Sonic.
I got a comment here. Should have kept Howard. By the way, our team is the same as last year. They're not. He's not. We have a quarterback who's progressing every year. He's throwing for 200 yards a game minimum. Our wide receivers are catching the ball. It's just the offensive line that may be the issue. Yeah, we barely beat a team. You put the yes, we had it 4 times in it again, and that was the first half. And they made adjustments, and they were able to
We
overcome.
barely beat a team. We barely beat a team, or we barely lost to a team like last year. Like that's the fucking difference.
That's the difference. They found a way to win.
Instead of
let's
finding lose.
right. Let's be happy about the win. Let's not try to be negative about that because we already went through that. What was it? 12 losses in a row, whatever it was. 15 out of 16 losses, whatever it was. We've been there. We've been there into that negative bandwagon. We're trying to get positive here by looking for running backs. He should be shopping for edges. Bagent blew out the Raiders. I don't see Bagent playing unless Caleb gets hurt. It's just not going to happen right now. It is Caleb's team.
What would you guys think about the? I was sorry, I'm still looking at like running back stuff, but the Seahawks they have Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. What if we made a move for one of those guys?
I don't know. Like, I like the idea of having 2 running backs, but I don't think Seattle's going to go ahead and give up one of their 2 running backs in order for unless they got somebody waiting in the wings. I just don't see it.
Yeah, the other team would be Tampa Bay. Oh gosh, the running back, not Rashad White, not Bucky Irving, but they have one other. Sean Tucker is the guy I'm thinking of. That would be one guy, potentially interesting to me as well. But like I said, you go up and look up and down some of these rosters, and yeah, like you said, there's injuries across the board in the NFL already, where it's like nobody's going to want to give up their second running back. But like I said, a Sean Tucker who has been buried on their depth chart could be interesting.
Running backs are not fine.
Judah, look,
under 100 yards, it's not fine.
QB that the teams play volleyball with his passing. Look, you know what? A lot of quarterbacks get their passes blocked at the defensive line. It happens. All right.
Look, Ghost of Judah Tribe is just a Caleb hater. Like, let's just be real. He's found another podcast to hate on Caleb. That's what he does.
That's okay. Look, you know what?
That's fine. But what he does is like to lie about things that aren't true. Like, everybody gets their pass blocked. Everybody in the league gets their pass. Fuck, Mahomes got his pass blocked yesterday in a game. Like, it is what it is. You hate Caleb because you think he's, I don't know, homosexual or whatever you think he is. That's what Ghost's MO is. That's who he is.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Look, the bottom line is even if we put in Bagent, all right, I don't know that it would really improve things. It might make the short passing game better, but at the end all,
you can't play defense. It's a
end all be all. The bottom line is that when you put arms apple to apple against each other, Caleb does have the better arm. Can he process as fast as Bagent? I don't know. I can tell you, I think Bagent would be much better in a West Coast style offense where it's short passing game, move the ball. But, right now, Caleb's the guy. He's the guy that we picked number 1 overall. He's the guy that's going to get the reps. He's the guy that's going to be on the field until he gets injured. That's unfortunately when you draft someone number 1 overall and they are getting paid more than Bagent. Guess what? It's gonna be Caleb.
Yep, Caleb did win a Heisman. All right, moving on to. No, he doesn't. Moving on to what's up ahead for the Bears in almost 2 weeks, where we'll be at Output Lounge in Berwyn. I'll put the address in the description. We'll be there in 2 weeks against the Washington Commanders. They have some injuries as well. Their Jaden Daniels has been out the last couple of games. They have some more injuries I mean, I don't want to preview that game yet because it's not ready yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not ready yet to preview because they're gonna play one more game before we get there. They've won one, lost one, lost one. And again, they got to play the Chargers next week at the primetime game, 3:25, and then they play us the week after. So we'll see where they're at. They are 2-2 as well. Put your money where your mouth is, dude.
Hey,
They're not
look
losing
at Ghost. Look at Ghost. Your shitty ass podcast isn't gonna fucking make anything else better when it comes to Bajan and Caleb. Caleb's a guy, bro. Caleb's a guy. No matter how much bullshit you spew, Caleb is the guy. You're just a fucking hater, Ghost. That's pretty much it. This is what you do at every podcast. You say the same thing. It's the same old tired bullshit. They just won 2 games in a row, you dumb fuck. Did you not see it? What 10-game losing streak are you talking about? You dumb motherfucker. It's hilarious. Ghost.
Look, the bottom line is
Ghost. Suck a dick.
what is
Enjoy
every
your shitty podcast, brother.
hold on. The bottom line is I don't know
Two
why
wins in a row. I love losing. What a
I don't know
fucking
why
idiot.
it is that the fandom sits here and there's an obsession with loving the backup quarterback. Like somehow they're better.
That's what losers do. Like
Yeah.
Ghost.
All right.
Ghost
Look,
is a
I'm
fucking
not
loser.
saying Bajent isn't a decent quarterback. But I can tell you this, looking and going to Bears practices and being there live at Bears practices, Bajent's arm is not as strong as Caleb's. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Did they beat the Rams too? They beat the Rams. They beat the Texans. All right, never mind. Keep going. No, you're right. Keep going.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Anyway.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we'll worry about us and
yeah, we'll worry about the Commanders next week, and that'll be it. So we'll have a show next week previewing the Commanders and the Bears.
When is Jaden Daniels due back from injury?
He's gonna be due back for our game.
Lovely.
For our game.
That should be fun.
That's fine. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
so he was already injured last season too, with the
Yep.
rib injury. Remember that? Like he had the rib injury. So
Yep.
I don't see it as any different. The knee might be a little bit different with the planting, but I would expect him to be. Yeah, he can't get to him anyways with the pass rush. So I would expect him to
the
be
bottom
fine.
line is I'd much rather go against Marcus Mariota than Jaden Daniels. So having Jaden Daniels come back from the injury to play us, that doesn't really bode.
Yeah, I sure do. I have your mom paying him for me, you asshole.
Just block him because he's just a little bitch. That's all Ghost of Judah Tribe is just a little bitch.
But why?
Thanks. Bye.
That's what he
Thanks,
does. He does it. Go look at his shitty ass YouTube page. It has like 10 viewers. He talks nothing but crazy racist ass shit. He's a psychopath. The Ghost of Judah Tribe.
He's like you. But here's the thing: is like you guys give in to him. So to me, like I just ignored everything he said. You can't fight with idiots like that, unfortunately. And
you could definitely call them out. You could definitely call them out, JC. Right? You could call out fucking idiots.
Absolutely, but again,
so there's no giving in to anybody when you call them the fuck out for their bullshit, right? That's not giving in.
But at a certain point, you just have to ignore them because
that's what we're doing now. After blocking him, we're ignoring him now.
At some point, like we're giving him a platform, and he doesn't deserve.
That's why we just blocked him, JC, and we told him to go suck a dick.
He's gone. He's gone. He is gone. He gone. All right, so
he's been gone on everybody's fucking podcast. The cocksucker. Anyway,
he's got nobody else to talk to. Bears win. Defense literally bailed us out. Special teams bailed us out. Offense look turnstile in the first half. Lots of stuff to work out in the next 10 days. All these injuries, these guys are going to be back for the Washington game. It was just posted on their Bears when I was driving home. That looks like everybody will be back at 100%. So we shouldn't have any Darnell Wright be back and everybody else. So we want to have that turnstile of offensive linemen.
Will we have Edmonds and Edwards finally healthy?
Yep.
That'll be nice because then we can put Sewell on the bench where he belongs.
Yeah, well, third down. Whatever. I mean, again, I just want everybody 100%, so there's no excuses on what this team can or cannot do. They got over $100 million on the edges on defense. That's not getting to the quarterback. You spent I don't know how much money on the offensive line. That's not doing much. I don't know.
The passing game is better. The pass blocking is better. The running is my issue, and I know that's JC's issue too because you mentioned it like as much. But like,
I do have to give a shout out, Ozzy Trapillo. He played fantastic. I think it was 40 plays or something like that because I guess he didn't come in until maybe the second quarter. But I believe he played like 40 plays, gave up like 0 sacks. He allowed like 2 quarterback hurries, but that was it. Otherwise, like no quarterback hits, no quarterback rushes, like no sacks, no nothing. 2 hurries, but that was it.
And this guy was a clean, healthy scratch for the first 2 games or 3 games, right? First 3 games. So,
well, and again, you know, we're talking about, you know, the bottom line is that we drafted positions that we went out and filled in free agency, but still for whatever reason drafted those positions. So you've got Turner, healthy scratch. Trapillo was a healthy scratch. You know, Loveland, where was Loveland this week? I mean, you know,
Loveland was hurt. He had the hip issue.
Okay.
He had the hip issue.
Yeah. Because it was one of those where it was like, you know, you're sitting here looking at the box score and it's like, okay, did he not even have a single target? Which, you know,
no.
I didn't get to watch the whole game. I got basically highlights and, you know, stuff like that. But you know, it's one of those where, like I said, I think that if Jonah Jackson keeps, because I think Jonah struggles a little bit. So to me, it's one of those like, okay, if we have Darnell Wright at the right tackle and we move Trapillo to the right guard and just Jonah, like, hey man, sorry, you're just not cutting it. You know,
that's like a question for Steve Edwards, who played those positions. That's out of my depth. I'm not swimming into that deep end.
To me, he looked great. Like, I mean, he didn't look great. Sorry, I'll take it. He looked
serviceable,
better than I thought he would look. More than serviceable, a little bit more maybe, but he looked better than I thought he would, especially against somebody who was destroying our fucking game plan for an entire half. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it wasn't perfect, right? He's a rookie.
Yeah, but from some of the video I saw, it was like we had 2 tight ends chipping Max Crosby. You know, Trapillo would block to his left, and then as soon as he the guard to his left secured, then like he turned and like came back to the tight ends and also hit Max Crosby. So that's something like last year we would not have seen from the offensive line we had last year. How many like? Again, I love going back to the photo of our 5 offensive linemen, all 5 on their asses. You know,
I have that shit somewhere.
So to me, again, our offensive line, it is an improvement over what we've had over the past couple of years. However, I don't understand why our run game is trash. Like and again, it's. Maybe I need to watch some more all 12 film or all 22 film to actually see how the line's moving, because I need to see, like, is it Swift choosing the wrong gap with his poor vision, or is it just that the offensive line is not opening the hole? So like to me, like I got to get on YouTube. I got to see if I can find some all 22 film, because again, our run game, like we can't have 38 rushing yards from our best running back. Like that is not good enough.
Not at all. Ivan, you're jumping out with Steve right now?
Yeah, I'm about to go ahead and take. I'm actually loading some shit up real quick. But right. Yeah, cool. I will talk to you guys later. Bear down. Yep. Like I said,
it makes our week go by way better.
Way better. For the Bears, just get healthy, get ready for Washington. I think that this team is going to be prepared. Tyreek Stevenson had a hell of a game. This is your moment, Tyreek, motherfucker. Like, this is your redemption. Go out there and have a hell of a game. All right, guys. Later.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
All right, Ivan. There we go. Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break and cool off because apparently we have trolls now, which I guess we're making it. If we have trolls, we're making it. I made it, mama. I made it.
Like I said, like I was kind of trying to ignore the troll, but I understand. Like,
I was just trying to read what he was saying. Then he went in person. I was like, "Go fuck yourself, block."
yeah, it's one of those like when it was football talk. It's like, okay, I don't mind like disputing your point that okay, look, we all know, right? It's this freaking love of the backup quarterback. I don't know what the obsession is, but it's like, okay, like perfect example, New York Giants, right? Russell Wilson is playing trash, so therefore everybody's booing him, and then all of a sudden it's got to be Jackson Dart, right? And it's one of those where it's like, listen, man, like it's not always where the backup quarterback is better than the starter. It's not always true. I mean,
Russell Wilson is aging. He's at the end of his career. He's in those last two stops. He's looked bad. And I know the debate had come up on one of the NFL shows is he playing himself out of Cooperstown?
I don't think Russell Wilson was ever going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Nor do I. But he had the opportunity to keep winning, and he just whatever.
Yeah. The bottom line is that sometimes you get these quarterbacks, and they may love football in the beginning. They may love it for 5-10 years. But let's be honest, like sometimes quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, when you got millions of dollars in your pocket and you're married to someone famous and you're going to events and different things and, charity balls and whatever outside of
anymore, right?
Sometimes, sometimes you have quarterbacks who are absolute psychopaths and sickos like Tom Brady, who will spend 12 hours a day watching film so that they can win. That Kobe, Mamba, Michael Jordan mentality where they will do whatever it takes to win because they have a desire to win. And then you have some people that they had that desire to win early. They won. They got comfortable. Things outside of their life, their family, their whatever, and they lose focus on being what they were. And when you lose that focus, sometimes you can't be what you once were. But like I said, when we're sitting here talking about Bagent, again, do I think he could potentially run a quick passing game, West Coast style offense where it's dink and dunk all the way down the field? Absolutely. If we're talking 27-yard passing touchdowns to Roma Dunze, I don't think Bagent has that in his bag. Again, I've been to practices. I've watched him throw the football. He has an okay arm, but he doesn't have an arm that'll light it up all over the field. So it's one of those where you have to be realistic in what you're talking about. He may have it between the ears. He may have the intelligence to read a defense, diagnose, and get the ball to his playmakers, but he doesn't have the physical skills to just absolutely dominate and light it up all over the field like an Aaron Rodgers or, whoever you'd like to, Drew Brees back in the day, whoever you want to, Matt Stafford, when he was younger, just freaking tossing the ball, 40, 50 yards downfield, back shoulder on the guy.
Matt Stafford was a beast. That was his, that was his thing, that throws 60, 70-yard pass. He also had Megatron, so that's a big difference.
Listen, look at what Mahomes did with Tyreek Hill the first couple 2-3 years they were together. I mean, just like the arm strength to just throw the ball downfield, like that's not Bagent's game. Bagent is not a like deep ball thrower. He is a move the chains, like, 10, 15 play drive type of quarterback.
He's a quarterback he would have started 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, where we just have that quarterback that just has enough,
Yeah.
and then we
Look,
run the ball and we play good
Hey,
defense.
look, there's nothing
Make it
wrong with
work.
a Kyle Orton, right? There's nothing wrong with a Kyle Orton.
Kyle Orton has a
There's no-
stronger arm than Agent.
But you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
when we
everybody
are,
loves Kyle Orton.
but again, when you're comparing apples to oranges, like, we knew what Kyle Orton was, we know what Bajent is, right?
Yes.
We know what Caleb, like, we're hoping Caleb is something more, right? He has the talent. Now it's just he needs to get between the ears to catch up with the talent. And
Whole new
you're
offense.
sitting here looking at Justin Fields. Justin Fields is 9 for 12 right now against Miami. He just ran a 43-yard touchdown.
Right.
So again, we've watched Baker Mayfield struggle and have issues over the years. He didn't succeed very well in Carolina, did he? Look what he's doing in Tampa. Right? So there are systems and things that do not always work with the quarterbacks that are on a team. Some quarterbacks work better in a West Coast offense. Some work better in a pass heavy offense. Some work better in a play action offense. It just happens. So it's one of those where, I get right now, like, watching Justin Fields, like, hey, I give the guy credit because, he's now in New York after sitting in Pittsburgh, last year. And I know he was hurt, I think, last week, but I mean, Justin Fields has been playing pretty darn well, for New York, as far as I am considered. Is Justin going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback? I don't think so. Does he have the ability to be a good starting quarterback in the league? I hope so. I don't want to root against Justin Fields. Like, we didn't give him the opportunity he should have gotten when, he was with the Bears. So I know we need to take a break and switch to some other stuff, but
yeah. So we'll just continue to bear down. There'll be lots of stuff that's going to come out in the next 10 days, 11 days. That's going to preempt it to the next game against the Commanders. So we have lots to talk about. So right now we get a little break. It's our bye week. So enjoy this. Take the wife out, take the girlfriend out this weekend that you don't have any football to watch, no Chicago Bear football. So enjoy that. Get your little nuggets in, get your little points
playoffs.
Yeah, but it is, and that's what we're going to talk about on the flip side of the break. We're going to talk some Chicago baseball. So stay tuned. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hey there, Chicago enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your fandom to the next level? The True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast has got you covered with some serious cool merch that screams Chicago pride. From cozy sweaters to trendy tank tops, we got it all. Show off your love for the city with our iconic red, white, and blue logo, or stand out with our exclusive collection for the love of sports. Whether you're lounging at home, breaking a sweat at the gym, or cheering on your team at a game, our gear is a must-have for all you diehard Chicago sports fans out there. Don't hesitate. Visit bonfire.com/store/606-media-store/. Or simply just click the link in the description and snag your gear ASAP. Get ready to make some noise, show your pride, and embrace the Chicago spirit with True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast merch. Designed for you, the ultimate fan, for the love of sports.
Hey guys, it's Steven.
And this is Sean, and you are listening to True Chicago Sports Fans.
Don't forget to listen to No War on the Weekend. New episodes on Monday. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, so we're going to go do a couple of shots. So let's kick it back over to Big Z.
Welcome back to the TCSF podcast with Big Z and JC Dynasty Fantasy Football. And it is time to talk about our Chicago baseball teams. I'm excited to talk about. I know Israel was excited before you had to leave, go to work. Thank you, Israel, for tuning in every week. We really appreciate that. Yeah, the matchup is set. The time is set. The location is set. The Chicago Cubs will be playing San Diego's. What is that? A whale's vagina? Is that what it's supposed to be? San Diego. Little Anchorman humor there. Yeah. So we're looking at. Looks like Matthew Boyd is starting Game 1 for the Chicago Cubs against the Padres. Um, not my first choice, but I guess because of how the rotation ended at the end of the year, they're going with Boyd. They got some more righties. They got Soroka, they got Colin Ray and Aaron Savali, which you'll probably see. I'm not sure if he's going to be just like a starter and get a couple innings, and then they're going to put the rest of the guys in, or if it's they'll probably leave him in there if he's pitching well. But the matchup is set. It will start. It looks like tomorrow, if I remember correctly. Let me go back here to the top. Yep. And it is a day game. It's a 2:08 game at Wrigley Field. It will be rocking at Wrigley Field. For me, I really want to see the Cubs use that hot bat that they had at the beginning of the year and be able to dominate. But it is the Padres. They have a good staff. I don't know who's starting for them. Let me pull that up for you. What do you think, JC?
It's Nick
Oh, you got it?
Pivetta is the starting pitcher for them.
Okay, so both teams are going with back of the rotation guys to start the series. So they're 1 and 2 are going.
If you look up Pivetta's numbers, he has like a 3.55 ERA. He's got a 5-win, 4-loss away, 77 Ks away. Versus Boyd. I mean, Boyd's numbers are a lot better versus Pivetta. Boyd's got 12 wins, 1 loss. He's got an ERA of 2.51. So, and 79 Ks at home. So, we'll see.
I mean, yeah, looking at Pivetta, 13-5 for this year, 287 ERA, 190 Ks, and a whip of .99, fifth in all of baseball. It's going to be a tough matchup. I did not think that Nick Pivetta had that great of a season. Wow. Okay. All right, Nick Pivetta. Yeah. San Diego's going to be a tough team. Looking at the roster, you got Manny Machado. You've got Luis
Alvarez, Manny Machado,
Xander Bogaerts, Jackson Merrill, Bryce Johnson. I mean, Gavin Sheets, Fernando Tatis. I mean, they've got some firepower on that side, and then like you said, Dylan Cease, Nestor Cortez, who they traded for. Darvish is on that staff. They have a lot of it. A lot of fire. Mason Miller, who they traded for as well.
Very similar records. San Diego 90 and 72, Chicago Cubs 92 and 70. So very, very similar records. So it'll be
what was that Chicago Cubs record? I'm sorry, what was that?
92.
Oh, 92. That means it's not 93. So Steven, you owe me a hat for the Cubs. Oh, it feels good to win, man. The Bears win, and then I get that hat. And then in the next segment, we'll talk about the other one. But yeah, go ahead. What is your expectation of this San Diego Padres and Chicago Cubs?
Honestly, like looking at everything where like I said, we're looking at 90 and 92 wins. I mean, it looks pretty darn even. So like I said, I'm hoping the Cubs will do well. Obviously we always, as a Chicago fan base, want to see our Cubs do well. But we'll see what happens. We lost Cade Horton. Let's see who else we got. We got Amaya, Casey, Brazier, Cade Horton, and Heller all out right now. Horton's on a 15-day IL. Amaya's on a 10-day IL. So right now, well, I guess Amaya's coming back and Casey's coming back. Looks like tomorrow. Expected return dates of September 30th. So, but again, losing Cade Horton could be not great for us.
What is? Does it say what his injury is? Is he?
Cade Horton.
Is he out for this
He's
Series
again.
coming back to Thursday.
Yeah, he's out for 15 days. Expected to come back October 10th.
Ooh. He'll be in the middle
So
of the
yeah,
next series.
he'll probably
Thursday.
miss the series.
Yeah, next two series. So, again, Chicago, do your thing, get a W tomorrow because you got to keep this good karma going after the Bears win.
Yeah, I mean,
if the Cubs win,
especially home game. Like, yeah, let's get it going. Let's get a good series going. You know.
yeah, we definitely want to see the Cubs do what they get that win. I got this up here. There we go. So yeah, so then they would play. Oh wow! So they get those two games at home, and then one. I'm not sure how this new setup goes for the playoffs. So
Because it's what, a 5-game for the first round.
It's the wild card, and the way I'm looking at it is the Cubs get all the home games. That's the way it's put down here. The Cubs are at the bottom on each one of these. Yeah, Cubs get all three home games. If so, it'll be quick because it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So there's no travel. So the Cubs get all three home games for the wild card. That's nuts. That is
well,
nuts.
I mean, that'll be nice as long as it will
Doesn't
pan
bite
out
them.
for us.
Oh, this guy. And bye. Oh God, he needs a life. Anywho, so again, the Cubs play at 2:08. I believe it's gonna be televised locally.
I believe I saw something about ABC at 2 p.m.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that's what I saw. Yeah, ABC 2 p.m. tomorrow. Excuse me. So definitely watch that. That means I'm gonna watch that at work during the my last two periods. So definitely go do that. Yeah. So anything that you want to see from the Cubs as far as players? I mean, for us, I think for me, it's Tucker. The guy who's trying to get that big contract. I think he needs to prove that he deserves that big contract.
Yeah, look, it's playoffs. It's playoffs now. Like nobody can be slumping. Nobody can be like, I know Saya, had a little rough patch at the beginning of the month. Like, look, this is playoffs now, boys. Like, there is no slumping right now. Like, we need everybody on point, everybody playing well. Bats going. Like I said, looking at Michael Bush and the fact that he's got 34 homers, Pete Crow hit the 30-30. Saya's got 103 RBIs. So it's one of those, like, we need everybody on point playing well. Pitching staff. I mean, there's a lot that's going to be going on these next couple games that, we cannot be having any hiccups, any bad decisions, anything else going wrong right now. Like, I understand, like, we may not be a World Series team, but I also don't want to be an out in the wild card team.
Like in 2018, when you played Colorado and you were just demolished. Just get whatever.
Yeah.
So, well, get ready for that Cubs game because there's no Bears for 10 days. So definitely get on the Cubs bandwagon and support Chicago. I'm excited. I'm going to watch it. I know I'm a Sox fan here, but I'm still going to support and root these boys on until they play the Dodgers. Then I'm switching allegiances. Speaking of the other team that I love, the White Sox, I think they won 60 games. And this guy right here, he called it 60 games. So Steven owes me 2 hats. Steven's going to be broke.
Yeah, Steven's broke anyway all the time. So,
oh, Steven, he's gonna have to be working a lot more construction. The White Sox finished the season at 60-102. They finished the season by winning against the Nationals 8-0. You had Shane Smith dealing he was a Rule 5 draft, and so was Mike Vasso, another Rule 5 draft that they picked up. Those are guys that are in their 5th year, and they're not on the 40-man roster on a team, which means they can be picked up during the Rule 5 draft, which means the team can pick them up, pick up their salary, and then negotiate a contract with them. They have to stay with that team that drafts them for the entire MLB season. So Shane Smith and Mike Vasso were very huge in this season, getting us to 60 wins. Chase Mydroff played pretty good this year, playing shortstop and second base. Kyle Teal, obviously, our one of 3 catchers. Edro Carroll is the other catcher. Lenine Sosa out of nowhere showed out with power this year. I think he had like 22 home runs. Michael Taylor finally retired after I think 12 years. You're looking at Colson Montgomery, 21, 22 home runs. What did he have this year since the All-Star? 21 home runs, 55 RBI, 61 hits from July 4th on. That's sick. So you give him a full season, let's say 2/3 of that, give him 38 home runs and 95 RBIs. That kid's going to be a stud.
Breaking news, Tyreek Hill may have dislocated knee. Ouch.
Well, he's done. He's done. Oh, boy. The White Sox also making some coaching changes for the 2026 season. They announced that the team will not renew the contracts of Ethan Katz, the pitching coach, Marcus Thames, I think he was the hitting coach, Jason Bourgois, who was the first base coach, and Drew Beretta, I think that might have been the third base coach. Grady Sizemore was probably moved into the GM office with a role. So lots of changes. I think you had the manager and Chris Getz look at what they had, because those were holdovers from last year, and they were able to see if they're good fits. And it looks like it's not being good fits for going forward for the Chicago White Sox. So again, lots of changes. There was a 19-game improvement from the White Sox, so that's pretty good. And it's amazing on how well the White Sox did in the second half. I think they only had like a -4 differential. So again, it's looking with some kind of direction for the White Sox. Can they improve another 19 games? That would be the definitely the road to success, right? Because they're gonna have the pitchers come up. There's a couple more bats in AA and AAA that should be coming up next season. So again, I'm excited for my White Sox next year. I know it's a little early to start thinking about spring training and the 2026 season, but if you guys remember, there looks like to be a strike for 2027 season, and that's the season that the Cubs are getting the All-Star game. So hopefully there's no strike. That covers baseball. I mean, the Bulls had their media day. Not really much to talk about. I mean, I don't want to touch on
really
the Bulls
ever
yet.
anything to talk about with the Bulls? It's wash, rinse, repeat.
Yep. Okay, we're done with the Bulls.
I mean, we didn't get any crazy free agents. We did it's the same exact roster as last year. Roll it back out, gentlemen. Be prepared for the same exact season we had last year.
That's exactly what the GM said. He's like, "Oh, I like this core." I'm like, "All right, well, all right, here we go. 41 to 41. 41 to 41. Here we go."
So I hope you get fired.
Yeah. I think he just got an extension too, man.
I don't care. Like,
God.
In a thing where the Bears just got what reevaluated for $8.9 billion.
Yeah.
What's a 3-year contract? I don't care. Stop it. Like, do what's best for your team.
Agreed. I think we're good. There was a little bit of trolling by some douche. Ivan lost his cool. So check.
I try to keep my cool while also, disrespecting. Let's touch on one thing though, right quick. I sent you something in the Facebook group chat right quick. Can we talk about these WWE ticket prices?
Oh, yeah. You did send me that. You have it up there? You want to share it?
I do not have. Let me see. Where
Is
did I
it,
send
is it in the
Or
group
no, I'm
chat?
sorry.
Or
I sent it on Instagram. So hold on one
Yep.
second. Let me pull up my Instagram.
Instagram. Yeah, the WrestleMania in Vegas tickets. So like the price just to get in is outrageous. And if you want to sit up close and be one of those guys, holy Jesus. Yeah, let me just
Yeah, I don't know if I can.
yeah, you can. I'll just take a screenshot.
No, my camera will not autofocus. I have a manual DSLR. But yeah, so section A on the floor, which I assume is like the very first row around the ring, $8,998. Section B on the floor, 3,806. You know, I was having a conversation with a buddy of mine over the weekend because the CEO of Ticketmaster just came out and said that, concert ticket prices are lower than they should be. That, ticket prices for concerts, like there's room to raise the price for concert ticket prices. And it's one of those, at some point, because I was talking to my family about it the other day because we recently went to a concert for The Who is a very famous British band. They've been around for years. Listen, if you think you don't know who The Who are, if I played you their music, you would probably be at least like, okay, I've heard that before in my life. They're
Are you?
right. Yeah, if you've watched CSI, you've heard their song, Bob O'Reilly and Behind Blue Eyes, and you know what I mean. But the bottom line is, like, I paid $170 a ticket for like the 300 level at the United Center. And the only reason why I did it was because it's their last go around. They're never going to perform again. And I wanted to see them before they stop touring. That said, Paul McCartney also was recently just in Chicago, and I tried to get some pre-sale tickets for Paul McCartney. The tickets in the 200 level, so by the time I got through the queue and got in to buy tickets, the only tickets that were left were in the 200 level, and they were $1,000 a ticket.
Get out of here, man. That's
and this is through Ticketmaster. That is through Ticketmaster.
And then you have the fees they're going to.
So your initial purchase price, not secondary, not third, like we're not going through TickPick, we're not going through any of these other ticket sales sites, right? Your initial purchase price through Ticketmaster was $1,000 a ticket. I tried not that long ago. Dave Chappelle was in Chicago. There was a pre-sale that I was able to get into waited in the queue. Nosebleed seats for Dave Chappelle, United Center 300 level, were $300 a ticket. And again, I'm sorry. It's getting to a point where, like, even for a date night, to take your significant other out for like a date night, to spend $1,000, you're talking $300 per person to go to a comedy show. That's not dinner. That's not parking. That's not, I'm sorry.
Drinks.
The events there. Look, Ticketmaster, you can say like there's room for more pricing. There might be, but for the casual person, like you're going to start seeing, and I hope you're going to start seeing some half-empty stadiums. Because the only way for anyone to make it known and make it whatever is to start showing by not purchasing tickets.
Look what happened with McDonald's. They're like, oh, we're bringing back the extra value meal where it's a lot cheaper. Well, so you mean you could have been selling it for this price since the beginning, and you were just price gouging?
Yeah.
There you go.
Let's be honest, right? So, I live in a neighborhood where there's like a Portillo's, there's McDonald's, and like there's a bunch of like fast food all around me, right? How is it that I can go to Portillo's, which is a charbroiled burger, which to me is a higher quality meat for a burger, and then I go to McDonald's and it's a salted puck, and you order a cheeseburger, a fry, and a drink, and it's like $15.
Yep. I would go Portillo's all day.
And it's all preservatives. It's all garbage.
Not real
It's
meat.
salted to shit. Like I said, I could go to Portillo's, spend the same amount of money, and get a much better product.
Yep.
And like I said, unfortunately, like it's time for people to wake up and say, no more. We're not doing it. I understand, like, you know what? This is not the days of where a concert ticket is $30 anymore. But to me, anything over like $150 is, especially for the 300 level. Again, I understand floor seats are something completely different.
Yeah, we're
Seats
talking
on the
about getting
100
into the
level,
building, right? Let's you're trying to get in the building. 150, very reasonable. You know, I go see Mark Anthony as much as he comes, and I'm sitting on the lower bowl, and you know, tickets used to be 95, then they went up to 115, then 130, and then 150, then 175. This last time they were over 200. I think they were 212, and I was like, this is getting out of hand. This is getting out of hand. And
here's the thing to me: is the money going to the artist or is it going to Ticketmaster?
I would say a lot of it goes to Ticketmaster. I would say like what
Exactly. So
right,
I'm sorry.
30 split.
Like I want to support the artist. I want to, you know, I understand. Like if you know, if the artist is a good artist, and especially like small bands and stuff like that are not, you know, promoted by specific companies. Like, again, if they're playing the Salt Shed, if they're playing whatever, like small venues around Chicago,
like Aragon, if you go to Aragon or the Boiler Room or things like that,
the Vic, the Riv, you know, all those places. And again, don't get me wrong, the Vic, the Riv, Aragon are even controlled by conglomerates. Okay, they own the concert venues, so it's one of those. Even they are subject to it. But again, this summer I went to see a band. I paid $65 for the ticket at the Salt Shed. It was a great show. You know, $65, I don't mind. It's a general admission. You stand where you stand. When you get there, you know, if you show up late, you're all the way in the back. If you show up early, you're all the way in the front. But the bottom line is that, you know, again, to see the Who for $170, that wasn't bad to me. Especially seeing as it was their farewell, never going to play again, you know, because they're up in age. They're all in their 70s. So like they're done. Like they don't want to do any more tours for the rest of their lives. And I get that. But again, 170, I'm fair with that. But to me, like from here on out, like if prices are going to be $250, $300 to go see certain things, I'm sorry, no thanks.
Yeah.
Like, and I hate to be that way because again, I like supporting the artists. I like supporting, you know, you know, again, especially I'm a big comedian person. I love comedians. You know, I love going and like I've seen Kevin Hart, I've seen Burt Kreischer, I've seen many Fluffy. I've seen Fluffy over the years. So I've seen a lot of people. But it's one of those where like their tickets were reasonable. They were $65, $70, somewhere in there, you know, $50, somewhere in there. But for Dave Chappelle for $300, it's like, look, I like Dave Chappelle, but I'm not paying $300 and sit all the way up in the nosebleeds. And then you're sitting there like, is that him? I can't even see him.
Yeah, you're watching the TV at that point. So you might as well just see it at home.
Yeah.
All right, so putting a button on this, it's just to bring close this
up. Look at this freaking ridiculousness.
On the floor, $9,000. That doesn't include taxes or fees, so you can probably add another $1,000 to that. on the B floor. So that's probably the non right behind the cameras. That's 3,800. So you won't be on camera. So you're on this side of the hard camera. Section 101 to 2,200, 100 level in the seats, 1,400, 1,300, 1,100. And then remind you, this is a 2-day event, and this is ticket for 1 day, 1 seat. 400 level, you're all
Like I
the way
said,
up.
I hope they sell no tickets. I know it'll never happen that somebody will pay for the tickets.
Yeah.
But again, I hope that the stadium is half filled and TKO can
Yeah, it's TKO.
kick rocks.
It's TKO because it wasn't like that before TKO took over. So it
No.
was tickets to
Like I
wrestling.
said, you know what I
It's
mean?
a
Like,
family event. It's reasonable, and the whole point. That's why Vince had it that way. Now you
and
can
look,
say
I
what you wanna
understand
say about his
WrestleMania is the all be all event
Super
of the
Bowl.
year, right? It's
Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl of wrestling. But I'm sorry, like I'm not paying that kind of money to go witness a WrestleMania. Like, and again, I hope the fans stick it to TKO, and I
They
hope
had
the
a lot of
stadium. I
they
hope the
had a lot of
stadium is
trouble
half
last
full.
year. They had a lot of trouble last year selling tickets. There was a lot of empty seats last year. Maybe because people didn't the headliner with Jey Uso being the champion at that point. The Cody Rhodes story, people get sick of it, but they did not sell out.
Well,
Both
again,
nights.
to me, like we have had this conversation now for a couple weeks, where it's one of those where it's like, to me, like I understand Cody's the guy right now. I understand, Roman Reigns. I understand, Cena's on his way out. All of these things, right? However, when I look at the product of what wrestling used to be with Eddie Guerrero and, Bret Hart, Undertaker, all these guys, like when you go to the roster that we grew up on versus the roster today, to me it's like I don't see the value like for the roster today to spend that kind of money.
No, I mean we grew up with when top to bottom it was Hall of Famers.
Correct.
So
And don't get me
you-
wrong, there will be Hall of Famers from this generation.
yeah, Roman Reigns is a Hall of Famer. The Miz is a Hall of Famer. John Cena, Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar. But all those
But-
guys are old. They're on the way out.
Right. And you look at the younger talent that WWE is presenting, and it's like you don't see anyone like to me, like and Finn Balor's up there in age. Like he doesn't look like it, but he is.
No. Yeah, he is, and he's not. He hasn't. If you notice, he doesn't wrestle a lot. He's on TV a lot,
Yeah.
but he's not
But
wrestling.
again, like the AJ Styles, the Finn Balor's, like
AJ Styles announced he's retiring next year.
yeah, but again, you sit there and you look at it and you go, and then also you watch them fumble the John Cena stuff right now.
Oh, that creative is so bad.
Right.
John
And
Cena
it's
now.
one of those where like when the creative is that poor, you think I'm gonna spend $1,000 even to sit in the nosebleeds for this creative and this talent on the roster right now? I'm sorry. I'll watch from home. Thanks.
Oh, I'll definitely watch from home. Do a watch party. Yeah, just first of all, it's a lot better. If it was 1 day, still, I'd be like, okay, it might be worth it to spend 200, 250. But when I spend 200, 250, I am at suite level, like first floor, the 100 section, and then right above it where you're hanging over. That's the suite level. That's usually what I get when I went to Atlanta, when I went to New Orleans, when I was in Chicago. I was in a 200 level, but it was at the Rosemont Horizon, at the Allstate Arena, whatever you want to call it. That's a very small venue. There's no bad seats there. So 3 WrestleManias, and the most I spent was under 250. So yeah, it was worth it. But now there's a 2-day event. It's watered down just because you don't have the stars to make up the card, or you're trying to squeeze every damn penny out of everybody now because it's TKO and you're in debt, and you're trying to take it out on the fans, the loyal fans. You got to remember, wrestling is like a circus. It goes from town to town. They perform in front of everybody. It's a family affair. Now there is stuff that's not family friendly, but you know that going in, it's a violent sport. But at the end of the day, it is meant for families and people and to bring people together to a certain spot, enjoy a storyline or enjoy good wrestling, and it's not to gouge people. It is not a a Shakira or Bad Bunny concert where you're just going to charge outrageous because you know the demand is going to be there. They're going to have half empty arenas if they continue to do this.
I mean,
Guess
perfect example. I mean, Jennifer Lopez tried doing a tour not that long ago. It failed. Beyonce tried putting on a tour. It failed. I mean, I hate to say it, but even I know Taylor Swift has a huge following, and I'm not trying to start any trouble with the Swifties, okay? But the prices for the Swift concerts are up there as well, to where it's and I know people are paying the price to
and
go
I think
see Taylor
isn't
Swift.
but she's independent. She's selling her own tickets through whatever
Correct.
platform.
Which I respect the hell out of that.
Yes.
But again, even still, some of her ticket prices are $300, $400, $500, and people are paying it. And look, but I was reading something the other day that it is cheaper now for an American to buy a plane ticket, go to Europe, and watch a concert in Europe than it is to watch it here in the States.
What's a round trip to Europe? Was $500?
I don't even know. But again, for example, like the Oasis concerts, right? I had a buddy that flew to Europe and saw them in the UK rather than here in Chicago because the ticket prices in Chicago were ridiculous.
I think that would have been a better concert anyways in the UK.
Well, yeah, I mean Oasis, from the UK, but again, it's still the fact that again, I've read an article where there was a female that went to see Taylor Swift in the UK as well, because she was like, look, if I'm going to spend this kind of money to see her here in the States, I might as well get a vacation out of it and go see her, across the pond. So, like I said, look, some of these places, Live Nation and, Ticketmaster, which Live Nation owns Ticketmaster. Live Nation owns pretty much, like I said, the Vic, the Riv, the Aragon.
Well, that's the other issue, that they're a monopoly. They're literally a monopoly. Where else are you going to get tickets from?
Yeah. Look, I'm not gonna say too much, but again, it's one of those where at some point, as a fan, you have to say, look, I love the product, I love the music, I love whatever, but eventually, you gotta stick it to these people and tell them, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. So, like I said, look, TKO, hey, good for you. I understand you spent a crap ton of money buying the product, buying the WWE name, buying everything, right? You overspent. You shit the bed. You made a bad business deal.
Yep.
And now you're quote unquote bankrupt. You're not making enough money. Sorry.
WWE was doing just fine without you beforehand, with lower prices and selling stock.
But that's the difference, is when something is privately owned.
Yep.
It's like anything else. I work for a company that is a Fortune 500 company, and over the course of the past 10 years, everything is about the shareholders, not so much about the employees anymore.
Well, what are you talking about? We're a family here.
Big Z, you don't pay me nothing. Where's all the view money, huh?
Well, let's get more viewers.
You tell me how many views we get on our clips and things, and then do I get any of that revenue? No.
Speaking of that, I gotta talk to Serge, because I'll tell you off there. Anyways, I think we're good.
He is a slave driver, people. He abuses my labor.
All right.
I love doing this. I love talking sports, people, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And hopefully,
Well, we're getting more followers.
we don't have
and
as
more
many
viewers,
trolls
so-
as we did today.
Oh yeah, that Keeper elf looking dude. Anyways, that's it for today, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for showing up at Output Chicago. Again, we will be in Output Berwyn, and I'll share that location address pretty soon. I'll make a new flyer and everything for that location. So it'll be a fun time. JC will have new merch out there for us because on our first day we sold out all pretty much all our glassware.
Okay. I have the rocks glasses and everything. Like I need to do the bottle openers. Like I'll try and get that done. Probably this weekend or Monday. I've just been, like I said, I've been super busy with work and everything, and family stuff.
Yep.
So,
No worries.
but
Completely understand. All right. So thank you for listening and supporting us through 268. It's a lot more because I don't number the pre, half, and post game Bears shows. But yeah, so just on the regular weekly show, 268. So thank you for supporting us. Check us out on Twitter, TCSF Pod, on IG, Facebook, Spotify. It's all the same thing. True Chicago Sports Fans. Same thing for our Gmail, True Chicago Sports Fans. So for JC and Ivan and Steve Edwards, who joined us this week at Output, I am Big Z, and we'll see you next time. So next Monday for 269. And until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.